Today's objective is least common multiple and greatest common factor. Definition 1. Greatest common factor is the largest number that is a factor of two or more numbers. Vic number 1. There are two ways to find the GCF. You can either list out all of the factors of each number or find the prime factorization of each number and multiply the common factors. Vic number 2. The GCF of two prime numbers is always 1. So if the two numbers are prime, the greatest common factor is 1. Let's do a few examples. Find the greatest common factor of 14 and 35. I have the board split because we're going to do it each of the two ways, but we'll get the same answer for both. What are some factors of 14, or what two numbers can you multiply to get 14? Well, there's 1 and 14, and there is 2 and 7. Those are all factors of 14. What about 35? There's 1 and 35, and 5 and 7. And I'll list these in order. What is the biggest number, the greatest number that they both have in common? And that's 7. Our GCF is equal to 7. Let's prove that this way. Let's do prime factorization of 14. Well, that is 2 times 7, both prime, and 35 is 5 times 7, both prime. Look and see, what is the common factor? What number or numbers do they have in common? The common factor is 7, which means the GCF in this case is 7 because there's only one common factor. Next example. What is the GCF of 12 and 42? So let's list out those factors. Factors of 12, 1 and 12, 2 and 6, as well as 3 and 4. Those are all factors of 12. Factors of 42, 1 and 42, 2 and 21, 3 and 14, 6 and 7. Those are all factors of 42. What is the biggest factor that they both have in common? Not 2, they both have 3. Looks like the biggest number that 42 and 12 have in common is 6. So the GCF of those two numbers is 6. Let's prove it using our other way. What's the prime factorization of 12? Well, 2 times 6, 2 is prime. Factors of 6, 2 times 3. So the prime factorization for 12 is 2 times 2 times 3. Let's do it for 42. We could do 6 times 7. 7 is prime. And 2 times 3. Let's list out those factors. 2 times 3 times 7. What factors do they have in common? Well, they have a 2 in common, and they also have a 3 in common. So you take the common factors and you multiply them together. 2 times 3 is 6. 6 is the GCF of 12 and 42, which is what we got using the other method. Now we're going to move on to finding the least common multiple. Definition number 2. Least common multiple is the least non-zero number that is a multiple of 2 or more numbers. Vic number 3. To find the least common multiple, or LCM, you're going to list the multiples for each number, or you can find the prime factorization of each number and multiply the common factors and any extra factors. A little different than the GCF. Let's do some examples. Examples number 3. Find the LCM of these two numbers. So we're going to list out the multiples of 8 and 12. Remember, multiples are different than factors. The multiples of 8 are 8, 16, 24, 32. And that's good, I think. Let's do the multiples of 12. 12, 24, 36, and we can stop there. Which number is the least number they both have in common? That number is 24. Our LCM is 24 for 8 and 12. That's the least common multiple of those two numbers. Let's do it our other way and see if we get the same answer. The factors of 8 are 2 times 4. 4 we're going to break down to 2 times 2. Circle our prime factors, which are 2 times 2 times 2. Let's do it for 12. We can multiply 3 times 4. 3 is prime. 4 breaks down to 2 times 2. List that out. 2 times 2 times 3. We are going to look for our common factors. And our common factors are a 2, another 2. So we got 2 2s. And that's going to be it for our common factors. Let's look at the extra factors. The extra factors left over is going to be a leftover 2 and a leftover 3. So we multiply all of these together. 2 times 2 times 2 times 3. 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8, times 3 is 24. Just as we found before, our LCM is 24. Last example. Number 4, find the least common multiple of 6 and 9. We're going to do it 2 ways. List the factors and prime factorization. What are some multiples of 6? We have 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, and we can stop. Multiples of 9. We have 9, 18, 27. We can stop there. What is the smallest number that they both have in common? That number is going to be 18. Our LCM is equal to 18. Let's check ourselves using the other method. We're going to find the prime factorization of the numbers and then multiply the common factors and extra factors. For 6, our factors are 2 and 3. Both prime, 2 times 3. For 9, 3 times 3. All right, let's look at what common factors we have. Well, they both have a 3 in common, so 3 is a common factor. What are our extra factors? We have a 2 and a 3. So we multiply all of those together. 3 times 2 times 3. 3 times 2 is 6, times 3 is 18. The least common multiple, as we found before, for 6 and 9 is 18. Remember, GCF and LCM are different. GCF is referring to factors and LCM is referring to multiples.